In this video, I'm going to show you how to use more of the structured cabling assemblies. Again, I'm in the assembly catalog. I clicked on the category next to structured cabling systems. I'm going to scroll down a little bit here, and we're going to talk about the indoor backbone risers. Okay, next. So again, these are assemblies for indoor backbone. Now, when I click on that, I'll just scroll down the list here real slow, but notice it has a copper indoor 25 pair. Again, our assemblies in Red Rhino for structured cabling are generic. It doesn't say a cable type or specifics on the cable, just that it's a 25 pair. Notice we have 50 pair, 100 pair. Again, this is an assembly catalog for the indoor backbone. So it goes up from 25 pair clear to 900 or 1200 pair here. And then it starts on the coax assemblies for indoor backbone. See that? Coax RG11, 0.500, 0.750. Again, keep going down. Then you get into your assemblies for fiber. Now I'm going to cover these in just a second, but I'm going to start with just by inputting one assembly for 25 pair. I'll put in a quantity of 1. I have to scroll this up sometimes a little bit here to catch the add button. I'll add it, and when I do, it populates. Now, again, this is an assembly. This is how you get some real traction. This is another example of where there are memory joggers in this assembly. See that? Now, again, to reinforce the idea that I set out in one of the other videos, notice how there's 150 feet of 25 pair cable. Again, all of our assemblies that have cable in them are 150 feet. Okay, so as I discussed earlier, I'll say it again. In this case, specifically, especially, you'll go change this quantity. Let's say that you figure that the actual length of that cable is 200 feet. I'm going to change this to 200. Okay, so again, you change the dimension to what you know it should be. Notice that they have terminations at the closet, 2 of them. Now, if you need cross connections, again, you'll change the 0 to the quantity of cross connections that you need. Notice how it input a 100 pair block kit wall mount and a jumper trough. Now, notice how it didn't include tie wraps. You'd want to put your quantity of tie wraps here, or saddles, or tags, or rather it has tags, one for both ends, and then it has testing labor for 25 pair test. Now again, the assemblies, people love these assemblies because they're time savers. They do a lot of the work for you in your material takeoff by populating the materials you need. Now I'm going to save this, and again, remember, you'll always go back and you'll delete the quantities of the 0 quantity line items. I'm going to just do that once. I click on that item, it highlights gray. I click delete button at the top, and I click save. Always make sure you save your deletions. Now I won't go through in here and delete the other 0 quantities, but you want to, before you're complete here and go on to the next step, you would delete all the 0 quantities. One more thing I just wanted to throw in here. As an example, I want to go down here and input one of the quantities for multi-mode. This is a fiber assembly. I'll put in a quantity of 1. I'll scroll back up to the top and click the add button to populate that assembly. Again, all these different components from the assembly populate here. Again, the average length, or the length that it displays, is always 150 feet for a cable type assembly. I won't change it now, but normally you'd go in and change this distance. Again, if you needed single mode instead of multi-mode, you would just 0 this quantity and eventually delete it, and you'd put let me say it over again. You'd put the actual quantity of your single mode in here instead. Okay. So same thing here, has some memory joggers for you, fiber adapter panel. If you need them, you'd put them in here. And this one, see how it has ODR testing. So if you need that, you'd put in a quantity and it would populate labor for you. Okay, so I'm going to scroll up to the top. I'm going to save it. I know I'm kind of flying through this. But again, you would go back when you're all done with this and you would delete the 0 quantities. I said that before. I just wanted to show you one more thing here. I'm clicking in the assembly catalog. I'm skipping over outdoor backbone. Go take a look at those guys so you know what's in them. But I'm going to click on Miscellaneous Items. Now this is the Miscellaneous Assemblies. Now I'm not going to populate any of these. but I want you to understand that they're here. Go in and use them. Again, there's memory joggers in here. See, they have ceiling supports. Notice that none of these cables or assemblies have ceiling supports. So you'll have to count the ceiling supports that you need, and you would input them here, okay? Dressing materials, pulling supplies. This is your miscellaneous stuff. These are this is a memory jogger for miscellaneous. Good stuff to have in there, okay? Now, let me just explain something. You're probably wondering as you're inputting these materials into the catalog here, well, what do I do next? Like, where do I find out the total labor? Just keep watching the videos in order. Under video clips here, make sure you watch these videos in the order they're presented, because the last video is going to show you how to navigate forward to the recap report that shows you your totals, okay? Shows you all your totals, adds everything up for you. So you'll eventually end up at the recap, but watch the videos in order to understand how to use this, okay?